Female. This was a large female, and this was really thick um, fur. The first hide I tried to combination tan. A lot of other hides laying around, hides that I've worked on. This is a muskrat. This is combination tan, meaning it's bark tan and brain tan. My raccoon friends.
And how did you get all of those?
Well, most of them are roadkill. In Virginia, you can collect as many big game animals as you want with a few rules. So I collect my deer, bear, and elk in Virginia. In North Carolina, it doesn't make practical sense to collect deer because you have to use your hunting tax, of which you only get 6. And if you're an out-of-state resident, that costs you about $150. Because of this, I collect fur bears like raccoons and muskrats in North Carolina. This raccoon was definitely hit within the last 18 hours, I would say. Here you can see there's some gut material there, rigor mortis, and there's some smell. Looks bad for a reason. It's really bad, y'all. This is roadkill, and I picked this up on purpose weeks after it was killed. It is rotten to the core. It smells so bad. Be happy you don't have smell-o-vision. I'm gonna turn this carcass into a nice ass piece of leather. Watch. Stick around and watch this video. Subscribe and definitely jump in the comments and let's get this convo started. Collecting roadkill is legal in over 30 US states now. This big buck hide was a challenge for me as a beginner. This Edmonds, Oklahoma animal control officer has stated that he's collected as many as 9 deer carcasses a day during peak season. There's over 350 million roadkill animals every year in the US. That's a huge untapped resource. If you know anything about buckskin cow, he's not going to leave any untapped resource untapped. I'm going to tap that resource. So how do we make furs? First thing you got to do is butcher the animal, and this is a lot more pleasant when you've hunted and the animal is fresh. Some of these roadkill specimens can be kind of unpleasant to gut. There's a million YouTube videos on how to dress a deer, so I won't trouble you with that. But I want to talk about the tools for a second. The first tool you need to have a fleshing beam. You can make one out of a PVC pipe that you cut down the middle or install 2x4 and build a tripod against it. It's really not very difficult. If you want a video on that, drop something in the comments and I can show you how to build one. A fleshing knife or a draw knife. They're kind of different because a draw knife is a woodworking tool that's meant to be pulled towards you, hence draw knife, and a fleshing knife has a sympathetic curve. Check out my animation here to see the difference. People ask this question all the time. How do you keep the fur on the hide? And the answer is you have to act quickly. With most roadkill, it's not going to be possible, so you're aiming to make buckskin or leather. But considering many of you all came to this video trying to see how to make furs, we're going to take best case scenario. Now that you have your hide and you have your fleshing beam and you have your fleshing knife, you're going to put your hide on the fleshing beam. Now using that fleshing knife or that draw knife and significant body weight while leaning on the beam, you're going to bulldoze off the remaining flesh. It's going to push to the edge of that hide. I always say go big or go home, and it's not very expensive to set up a little home tannery with 4 hyper tough trash cans. I'll put the link in the video so that you can just grab those really easily. They're pretty cheap at Walmart. If you're trying to keep that fur, the first thing you need to do is take that fleshed hide and put it into a brine or pickle solution. Again, tons of videos on this, so it's not worth my time to tell you everything, but a cup of vinegar and a pound of salt per gallon of water, a few gallons of water for an average size hide should be fine. If you're making leather, this is done in a different order. Typically, you throw your hide into your base first and then into a pickle afterward. Leave your hides in the pickle for a few days so that when you press it, the flesh kind of sticks down and you see your fingerprint. But make sure that the pH doesn't raise because you can lose your fur, and this has happened to me where I've lost fur when the hide stayed in the pickling solution too long without me checking to see if it was still acidic. There's actually 3 different things that you can do with your fur on hide now. But the ones I'm going to talk about in this video are bark and brains, because I combination tan. So the next thing I do with my hide after the brine is throw it into the bark solution that I make out of oak bark. You can see that you can't really see your fingertip in there, kind of from the knuckle. It's pretty dark, so that's good tannin liquor right there. In there, so that's like what I need. Now I'm gonna warn you that if you put your fur on hide into bark tannins, you will impart color onto those hides. There's a couple methods that we can use that I'll talk about on a different video to tan the hide and not impart color. But throwing it into the bark tannins, you maybe want to limit to a couple of days, because it will change the color of the fur and definitely change the color of the flesh. I think brain matter, it just is a little bit more buttery. Sorry to gross people out, but this is the stuff I want here. Now, in my limited experience, you don't need a lot of brain material to make a really good fat liquor. So I save the brains from all the animals that are even relatively fresh. After a few days, remove that hide from the strong bark liquor. I moved it again and I refreshed the coals in there, and looks like my microphone doesn't work, so I'll speak up. I refreshed the coals in there and added some more cherry shavings in there to get this one part of the hide that seems like it's a little less smoked than the other parts. I want to get it nice and even, but we're almost done with this hide, I think. So what you see now is I kind of like made a tent around the thing. I've got the clamp pinched onto this little stake that I got in the ground, trying to completely enclose the smoke. But you see there's this hole right here that's allowed some out, but you do see there is smoke coming out of the top, so it is tannic acid and smoke. Those are the 3 things that we know lock the hair in place on a hide. So in my experimentation, I've gone between putting them in a brine to putting them in a tannic acid mixture to smoking them. If all else fails and you lose the hair on your hide that you wanted to keep so badly, it's not the end of the world. You can still make beautiful leather or buckskin, like you see here, out of that hide.